Hello, welcome to Laura's Painting Minis. I am Laura, and today, as you can see, we are working on this Warthog again. So we'll finish essentially highlighting the black metals, and then I do have some paint on the palette for painting up all the different like actual tusks and claws, etc. So yeah, we'll get to that. I'm beginning to feel like I forgot these claws with the metal. But I do have it here anyway, so I'll just quick kind of line some of this. And then I'll do the rest of the stuff, highlighting the rest of the stuff. How is everyone today? It is the Monday. My Monday's actually going pretty well so far. Planted some new flower plants that came in over the weekend. So hopefully those will get well rooted by the fall. They're mums, so they're actually would be fall blooming more so. I don't know if they will be this year since they're they cut them back quite a bit for the safety of shipping and stuff, so we will see if we get any foliage this year. That won't necessarily mean that they're not any good or anything. It might just mean that it won't be till next year. Well, I shouldn't say foliage. There is foliage. Flowers is what I mean. Yeah, there is foliage. They're nice and green. They were just beginning to wilt just a smidge last night. Before, but I knew I needed to check them anyway because the directions said to water them the night before planting. So yeah, that was already in the plan. And they looked great this morning after getting some water last night. Yeah, I think I've figured out a solution for deterring rabbits from my garden so they don't eat my flowers and instead go eat the dandelions, which we would love for them to eat. So I did plant some new flowers in place of the violets. I can't remember if I talked about that on stream, but yeah, apparently violets are a type of flower that rabbits like to eat. So you're essentially planting rabbit food if you plant those. I had not looked much into them since I knew I wasn't going to be trying to keep them long term. I mean, I was just thinking them as just some annual to throw into the garden while I'm waiting for other stuff, either to arrive or just to order. I have bulbs that will come this fall, but that means where I will put those buds, there's nothing there right now. Well, there wasn't. Now there is. It's kind of, I've got one like third cup flowers that I put in place of the violets, and they are technically perennials, but they're not winter hardy. They're native to the south, so they are not gonna be very unlikely for them to survive our winter. And I'll probably dig them up anyway to plant the bulbs. But they're really pretty for now while I'm waiting. I don't remember quite what all I know I got some of this started the other day. Don't quite remember what all I actually highlighted. It kind of looks like maybe I got this arm highlighted. He's got his head tilted, so I don't think I'll do anything on that side. At least as far as the pearl white highlights go. Won't be a ton of this stuff necessarily down below. Just kind of some edgings. A lot of it will be in shadow. You can kind of see that how that effect looks. Down under shadow, then back to the top. I think I need to do in here a bit more. Even with just the regular blackened steel. Going over this just a little bit because I think it was a bit too much of the white, pearl white. Let's see. I think that will do it for highlighting the metallics. Go ahead and start. Got brown liner here, do a base coat, just in case some of that primer color rubbed off or anything like that. I think I actually used a Rogue liner to prime this guy. Saw the new Thunderbolts movie last weekend. That was pretty good. I feel like it was like almost a really good mix of some of the, I feel like some of the different things they've been trying to explore or do with some of their other stuff, earlier stuff, that's mixed together with kind of that stereotypical MCU movie. I still haven't seen the newest Captain America. They did make some references to that. But I mean, it was mainly stuff that I had heard at least a little bit about. It wasn't like completely out of the loop, I feel like. Let's see. Kind of basically had a whole day to myself Saturday because my husband took our kid down to his dad's and his mom's while he worked on some stuff at both of their places. Well, my husband worked on both on stuff. Um, so that was nice. Especially because I'm like, or I was off my ADHD meds, so because there was a little snafu. I found out this morning that there was a snafu. I could only guess at what had happened. But they're they're trying to get it figured out as to get that worked out. So it was nice just having kind of getting to wander around, just get random stuff done, and got the rest of the box of caves stuff all clipped off and organized into little baggies. And kind of figured out where they're going to be stored in the meantime till I either paint them or, even after they get painted, that's where they'll go to. then I actually pulled out this morning. I pulled out the box of elven trees from the other Kickstarter, the Encounters one that I backed, which is what this guy is from actually. This was sent along with those. Oop, I almost forgot there's a little extra husk on this side. Let's see. And I also grabbed out the boat and there's the boat from the swamps box. Then there's like a kind of a basically a camp set. That was also in the Elven Trees, or I guess it's Elven Woods box was what it was. So I'm gonna try and get those clipped off the sprues and painted actually, because they would be great for some encounters that I'm going to run in the next session of my campaign. Which is kind of what I tend to focus on when I'm painting for myself, is what will I actually use in an encounter. Also got caught up, well, not caught up, I got started working on lists of products and prices for the shops in the campaign, since I have a feeling, based on the last session, they at the very least are gonna want to buy some potions of healing, because none of them are magic users currently anyway. I mean, if you played D&D any length of time, or at least have played around with the character builder, you know that just about every class has at least a subclass that can be kind of a magic user, even if the main class isn't typically a magic user. And I have no clue what they're going to be choosing for their subclass. They're not at that point yet, I don't think. I would imagine it would show up on their character sheets to some degree if that was the case. Although only half of them have actually leveled up. But I mean, it's a month out. I'm not surprised. The ones who were really excited about making a character and stuff are the ones who have updated it. So I'm not surprised, I guess. on the ones who haven't yet. Just a sec. I just realized I forgot to plug my computer in. There we go. Now we will not be randomly disconnected. Okie dokie. Those are done. I think other than the basing, it's just this knife here. Oh, I guess there's part of the hoof here that I didn't see. And so for the knife, I do want to do kind of more of a true silver, normal silver steel. So the metallic that I often use for that has been this one, blade steel. So I definitely need to probably go through and order new metallic paints. So a lot of them have dried up quite a bit. There's one I already threw away, just right out threw away over the weekend. So I went and tried to use it, and it was just like water, like barely, and not holding together at all. And I like opened it up and like I used this one, my mixing brush, the handle of it, and kind of stuck it down and tried to mix it, and it was just all paste at the bottom, pretty much. There was no saving it, and using it was going to be a pain because it's not going to work right. I could have maybe gotten some mileage out of what was left, still liquid, but it wasn't going to be worth it. I'm just going ahead and using the brown liner since that's already on my palette, just to darken in this base coat here. And also in here, we're kind of messed up a little bit. Try not to get any on the other things around it. That is a good reason to write down, at least write down your paints that you used, so that you might be able to remember somehow, like what your mixes were. Okay. And that is mostly dry now already. So I'll just go ahead and get going with. And then as long as I don't make any huge blurs, all that will be left is the base after this. realized I forgot to finish these little hooves over there. Or claws, I guess. That's looking pretty good. I could certainly spend more time on this, kind of tweaking and finessing things, but it is just something I'm gonna paint to sell. So don't want to go too overboard on it, since we'll not be getting the money's worth out of that if I do. I'm already going too much as far as that regards. It doesn't take much, really, though. You're not going to get what your paint jobs are actually worth selling on eBay, but it does get your name out there. I haven't fully thought about what to do with the base here. It is nice, it's one of the sculpted bases of Reapers. Which I believe at least some of them are going to get released to retail sometime this year. I don't know if the big ones will be. Could do kind of like a mud look, and then I think I might put some tufts or something maybe on it. It's kind of what I'm thinking, just some like green tufts here and there, kind of to get help with that idea that it's like lush, muddy land. Now the question is colors. This would be an opportunity to get more of the red orange color in out of the color scheme that we're doing. Intense brown's kind of good for that. You can see it's kind of got that just a little bit of reddish-ness to it. I will definitely get very close to being done, even just this stream. I hadn't really thought much about it, so I didn't even realize that I was this close. So that's fun. Maybe I'll work on some terrain or something. I don't think I'll do. I think I'll wait to start another paint to sell piece just now. So I feel like there are a lot of things that I want to paint for myself. That is kind of the nice thing of where I'm at, is painting to sell. No one's yet commissioned anything, so I can kind of just say like, well, I'm going to work on my projects. And I think I should. So I ended up not getting the minis from that are for my husband and another friend of ours yet, but it sounds like I will get those tomorrow. So Thursday, I will probably be working on one of those. One is a rabbit folk. I remember that. And then which the only requests or specifics for that is gray fur and green eyes. And beyond that, I get to choose. So that's fun. Those are fun paint jobs. For my husband, his is technically like a weird kind of race because it's from Draw Steel. But luckily, like, they did things that are similar to other stuff that's already pretty common, normal. So yeah, he was able to make something on Hero Forge that sort of resembles his character. It's kind of a like alien-ish Githyanki type character. So I already have metallics on here, so it'll work well for me to do sort of just like some gloss sealer on this, and that will give the look of like that it's wet. Right now it looks wet because the paint is just still wet in some places. won't get quite all the way done with this, but he's very close. I do usually wait to do the base in most cases. There's been a couple times where I'm just like, you know what? I have a really strong vision and I just really need to do the base, like build up the base part now. It doesn't happen very often. It usually does involve something where I feel like I need to build something a bit before I start painting. I'm only just getting comfortable with starting to feel comfortable with building spacings and stuff. Still really simple stuff though. It's still nice to have something like this that's already sculpted and I can just paint it various different ways and or add some tufts to it or something. So I think I definitely will add tufts. Man. I realized when I was making first off I was making a template to try and to make it easier to just copy and paste for shops and making new shops, because right now we're just in one town and have been. Probably going to be leaving at least by the end of the next session is my guess. Maybe they'll go back to it. I in my mind, I think it will be a important city. I also am very much one where, you know, I have a lot of input on the story in reality. So I want to make sure that they're getting the ability to make input. Because all the encounters and stuff that I create, like that's me as the GM making input on the story that's being created. So I want to be careful about getting too hung up on something being playing out a certain way, especially because I have a lot of fun. I think it's a lot of fun to see how things don't turn out the way I expect them. I mean, the more I play with them, the more I'm probably going to be able to think through some of the things they will probably do or pursue. Doesn't look like I got the foot. Finish this little bed of mud real quick. Then that'll probably be it for today. I'm okay with there being any like brush strokes seen, because if it's mud, you would kind of see that where the water had kind of been moving at least. It's now more mud than it is a river. So yeah, it's a lot redder in person, I will say. I don't know if this would help at all to kind of help there. A little bit. But yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And then I'll get some, like I said, I'll get some grass tufts to kind of just glue here and there. Maybe I might try and get a little bit of the mud color onto that. Added the effect of kind of like this is muddy, really wet, muddy area. Because you know, he's a warthog. Pigs roll around the mud. So just makes sense to me. There you go. Here. See a nice, awesome pose right there. So yeah, I'll get him finished up, and then sometime in the next week he'll be up on eBay. If you are interested, you can certainly keep an eye out. I'll post the link on my Facebook for sure, and at least mention it on my Instagram. So you can, the links are there in chat. You can check those out and give me a follow so that you get notified of those. And yeah, I'll see you Thursday. I don't have the minis yet, but hopefully it'll probably be one of those character minis. If not, I've still got one other little ghoul here that I didn't get painted up last week. So if I don't have those for some reason, then we'll do another ghoul, or well, ghost, technically. All right. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you Thursday. Bye.